We got interviews, different perspectives in a view. Listen to learn what winners do. Empirical wisdom.
Hey guys, my name's Knoah Solomon. I'm going to do this personal interview that Coach Mendoza has given me the opportunity to share a little bit about myself with his following and others. So, I was born and raised in Pinellas County, Florida. I've lived there my whole life. I'm 25 now. I have two siblings, a younger sister and an older sister. Two-parent household, lucky enough. My mom and dad were and are active in my life, very supportive. I would always consider my upbringing normal for the area, middle class in the sense that it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. It wasn't the nicest, you know. It never bothered me, but like a quarter of the house wasn't tiled during like my childhood, and even until I had moved out, you know, there was like subflooring. It was just the concrete. It looked a little shaggy, you know, and everything like needed something, if that makes any sense. We lived in a packed household after 8th grade, I'd say, you know, about 9 to 10 people on and off. My parents were the type of people that would take a shirt off their back to help others. You know, we had a friend of mine living with us. My sister had friends living with her, or at another point, her boyfriend was living with us with her children. My grandma was staying there when she wasn't in the best of health. You can imagine it being a little hectic with 10 people and only 2 bathrooms. That played a little bit of a part into my truancy in high school. So earlier portion of my childhood, very smooth, a little bit more bumpy towards end of middle school and through high school. But overall, very hardworking parents. You know, my mom, she'd work from 7 in the morning to 8 or 9 at night and still come home and cook dinner for us if my grandma hadn't. My dad, you know, he was working 16-hour shifts at a hospital almost 6 days a week, with 1 or 2 days off if he could. So they worked hard and supplied everything we needed. You know, power was always on, roof was over my head, and food was in my fridge. So more than I could ask for growing up. So currently, I am unemployed, which is kind of a scary thing. But let me explain. I am all in. I am currently in Bangkok, Thailand right now, living off savings for the next 3 months. And I am here to do nothing but train and become better at Muay Thai and pursue my career. How I got started was actually out here, which is an amazing thing. I was at a bar. This is going to sound funny. I was at a bar and they had a ring in the bar and they were walking around looking for people to fight. And truth be told, they picked on me. And I didn't get up in there. I didn't want to. I didn't have the confidence to. I didn't feel I could defend myself. And even though that's something little, it stuck with me till I came back to the States. When I came back to the States, I took it upon myself to enter a martial arts gym. They had Muay Thai. And I would say it was like love at first sight, but that's not exactly true. It was just once or twice a week at first, and I was really only doing it to become more confident in myself. It wasn't until I met my current coach, Dan, that I fell in love with the sport. He taught me a lot and showed me what I had to offer. And what stuck with me today that he told me in, I want to say, our 2nd or 3rd training session was Muay Thai is one of the things that you will get out as much as you put in. I think after that, it was a snowball effect. And I started to see it, you know, the more work I put in, the better I got. And to someone that quit on almost everything growing up, you know, I never followed through with anything. I had made a decision that this was what I was going to follow through with. So I do see myself participating in martial arts for the rest of my life. I want to compete till I can't compete anymore. And then after, I'd like to train people and, you know, have a competition team of my own one day, hopefully. Definitely happy with the outcome of being picked on to get into that ring, but saying no, because that gave me the drive to want to be better. I actually did give college a try, which is surprising because I hated school, and that fact actually held true in college. It wasn't learning I didn't like, though. It was the atmosphere in which we were learning that I didn't enjoy. I never enjoyed the cookie cutter aspect of schools, or how they kind of condemned free thinking in a sense. I did go to college at SPC for a semester that I paid for myself. My parents weren't going to pay for it. One, because the money wasn't there, and two, because I didn't show the promise in high school that I would follow through in college, and I didn't. But some of the significant experiences I've had have all came from traveling. I really believe that traveling makes you richer. And I don't mean materialistic wise. Personally, my life has felt more complete since getting to see the world. When I was younger, we didn't have the money to go anywhere. We never traveled anywhere. So the first time I traveled out of the country was on my own dime to Thailand, when I was 20. My world was opened up. You realize that America is one small portion of the world, and just because we do it there doesn't mean that's correct in a sense. You can learn a lot from other cultures around the world, and at this point I've been to a few other countries, and I can tell you this, that I would travel and will travel as long as I can, because it's probably the most exciting thing I've ever done and will do, is to get to see the world that we live in and to meet other people and other cultures. I would suggest it to anybody. If you've never been out of the country, give it a shot. Go somewhere close, learn something new. Realize that even though America is great, there's plenty of beautiful places in the world with beautiful people to experience. I know as fighters, we all have obstacles and challenges in our life. I would say something that happened to me before I was a fighter actually has been the biggest hardship. Since I've become a fighter, life's been on the up for the most part, due to consistency and other things. But I digress. So, into high school, I got in a motorcycle accident that was pretty bad. I had cracked my pelvis, and I was on bed rest for like six-ish weeks, 6 or 7. Luckily, no rehabilitation or anything. But what I took away from it was important. I guess that was the day I learned that life was fragile. As a kid, you feel invincible. Nothing can happen to you. This let me know that I too could be touched, and I was not special, as they say. So to take every day with a little bit of grace, and just be happy to be alive and be thankful, because it can really end that quick. Life lessons. The biggest one for me, get out of your comfort zone. Growing up, I didn't do anything that made me uncomfortable. I didn't want to read in front of the class. I didn't want to talk to that girl in middle school. I was super shy, everything was hesitant. Just do it. I know it sounds simple. Obviously put a little thought into something before you just jump the gun, but know when it is time to jump. Don't be too hesitant about things, and believe in yourself. I think that's the biggest one, is to believe in yourself. You have to know that other people don't have the blueprint just like you don't. We're all out here winging it in a sense. So bet on you, bet on yourself. Risks. This is a risk for me. This is actually a pretty big risk. I'm out in Thailand, off savings, with a home back in Florida that I'm paying a mortgage for. So you can already see the amount of stuff that's weighing on this trip, and it's all for me just to get better at Muay Thai, with nothing guaranteed or promised for me out here. This is all self-initiative for me to become better at what I want to be my career. It took a lot of saving for me to get out here, almost a year and a half, 2 years of me putting pennies and dollars to the side to make time for me to be able to come out here for 3 months. So in my opinion, this is a pretty big risk or change in my training for the next 3 months, and hopefully it pays off and has the benefits I'm looking for. This is a question that I guess I wasn't sure how I'd answer until I got in front of the camera. Truthfully, I'm not too worried. I don't give much thought to what other people think. You have to understand, for 18, 19 years of my life, that's all I did, was worry about what the next person would think. I could care less what people's perception of me is. I could tell you what I think of myself now. I try my best to have integrity, be honest, loving, that's important. I like to think I'm working on my humility a lot too. These are all things that I consider myself to be. But as for what the other person thinks about me, I haven't given it much thought. And I suggest most of y'all don't give it much thought either. Yeah, I had a really close friend in the younger days of middle school and high school, and he lived with me growing up through high school. I would say he had the biggest impact on me because he showed me the other side of the coin, in a sense. Even though we weren't wealthy, I always had food in the fridge. He introduced to me that life isn't the same for everyone. And I guess I knew this, but it's different when you experience it firsthand. I would like to say he really played a part in my humility, in a sense. Watching someone at such a young age have hardship, but still being able to crack a smile and joke with me, meant a lot. We used to have a lot of conversations, and we almost disagreed on everything. But I think that's what was so important about it. Because if you don't have anyone to challenge your beliefs, you'll never think differently. You'll just be stuck in that same, the four walls that you're staring at. So it was super important to my growth and fundamentals as a person to talk to someone with such different beliefs and different upbringing at that, super thankful for the time that we had together. I was excited to answer this one. So, values that I have. No order, honesty is important to me specifically due to me being younger. I used to tell little white lies in high school to people. It wouldn't affect anybody, but I was building up this image of myself to myself, thinking I was fooling other people. Whether they noticed it or not, it stuck in the back of my head. So when I say being honest, I don't only mean telling the truth. That's obvious. But being honest to who you are, let your personality come out. Be true to yourself. Enjoy who you are. We're all unique in a little sense. And I think that's really important in being comfortable in your skin, is also being honest about who you are. For example, I'm not the tough guy fighter. I love smiling in my weigh-ins and face-off photos. You know why? Because I'm that goofy guy. I don't see the point in trying to be dishonest to myself and act tough. Another important one, integrity. So this is so important because you have to do what's right when no one's looking. The world is already bad enough in a sense, and if you don't have integrity, you're part of the problem. You can't and won't be praised for doing good things all the time. Of course, it's nice when you are, but the world would be a horrible place if people only did good things when they were praised for it. And this ties into this as well. So humanity. This one's important to me, and it's something I'm working on as I get older. Being able to love random people. And when I say love, I don't mean get down on one knee and do everything for them, but I mean love them as a fellow person. Like, you have to be able to reach your hand out and help people at times and have that humanity, because life is tough as it is. And, you know, I'm sure most of us needed a hand at some point, and hopefully someone helped you out. And if you didn't get the help, I think that should be an eye-opener to have more humanity and help fellow man. I've had plenty of difficult decisions in my life, I feel like. I'd like to go over the one that's a little bit more recent and ties into what I've been talking about, being out here in Thailand. This was a hard decision, you know. It might have seemed easy and a no-brainer to most people, but I have, in my eyes, a family back home. You know, I have a girlfriend, soon to be fiance. I have 3 dogs that I care about, a house and mortgage. And I'm gone from them for 90 days, which in relative aspect isn't that long. But, you know, I miss them quite a bit, and it has been challenging to be out here without them, without her support. As well as financially, you know, having to make that call that, like, nothing may come out of this financially other than a little bit more hardship when I get back. But what had helped me make my decision was, one, my girlfriend, you know, pushing me to follow my dreams, as well as me wanting to chase my dreams, you know, to be an excellent Muay Thai fighter, to hopefully be one of the top foreigner Muay Thai fighters. You know, all you ever hear are all the Thai names. I would love for one day, you know, Knoah Solomon to come across as one of the best foreign Muay Thai fighters. I know these sound like big aspirations and goals, but nothing great can be achieved in life unless you know, shoot for the impossible. My advice to anyone chasing their dreams or trying to do great things is pretty standard. Do yourself a favor. Go all the way. Whatever that looks like, whatever that means to you, give it your all. You will only be upset if you quit and didn't give it your all. I promise you. Going all the way, stepping over that line will show you what you're really capable of. So, work hard, follow your dreams, and don't give up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the short interview and either took something away or learned something a little bit about me. I really appreciate you if you watched all the way through. Thank you, Coach Mendoza, for giving me the opportunity. And follow me at Instagram, Knoah_S.